Hello friends, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we are making over the Landgraab household for my forever save file. I've been saying for a while that I wanted to move over some of the townie households from Oasis Springs and into Willow Creek with the rest of my households for a while, and I decided to do that finally because I now have a plan for some interconnecting stories that will involve them. Before I tell you about my plans though, I'll talk a little bit about the Sims before I forget. I feel like Nancy was the most difficult Sim for me to choose outfits for, and I kind of knew she would be, which is why I did her first. I couldn't decide if I wanted to go for more of a professional, wealthy business tycoon look, which is similar to how I made Bella Goth when I gave them a makeover, or if I wanted to give Nancy an ultra wealthy reality TV housewife kind of look. And I initially was giving her a very modern, chic, clean color scheme with mostly like whites and creams. But then at the end, I realized that Nancy is a lot more bold and colorful than that, so I went back and added some more bold colors and patterns to the outfits, which I think suits her a lot better. The Landgraabs are also the family that I changed the appearances of the most drastically, mostly because I personally just think that they looked the worst out of the townies so far, and they really weren't my style when it comes to Sim appearances, but I really like how they turned out. I especially love how Jeffrey and Malcolm turned out, I think. Jeffrey just screams quintessential middle-aged dad to me, which I think is really funny. He just seems so casual and down to earth. I also gave him a little button-up shirt from Enchanted by Nature that has flowers embroidered in the shirt pocket, and I thought, how cute would it be if he liked gardening? Nancy could never, she's a bit of a neat freak, she doesn't like getting her hands dirty, but Jeffrey likes to go out into the yard and relax and garden after work. I don't know, I just thought that was so sweet. For Malcolm, I basically overturned his whole look and personality, and honestly, now I'm really excited to play with him and see how his story goes. I changed his traits to a party animal and hot-headed instead of a snob and evil, which he was before, and his aspiration from public enemy to the live fast teen-specific aspiration. My vision for him was kind of loosely based off of Topper from Outer Banks. I feel like he's very carefree, doesn't realize how privileged he is, and because of that, he can be a bit arrogant and pretentious, but underneath it all, he is a decent guy. He just doesn't have the best role models, especially since Johnny was kicked out, because they used to be really close, and with his dad working so much, he spends most of the time around his maybe not so nice friends and Nancy, his mom, who is very materialistic and self-absorbed. And yes, I did add Johnny Zest to the household so that I could add him to the family tree, and then I'm going to move him out into another lot in Willow Creek. Johnny Zest is really the whole reason why I'm doing this now, because he is the crux of the story plans that I have. I changed Johnny from being a struggling comedian to a struggling writer who has a passion for the supernatural. And after being kicked out by his mom for wanting to write instead of joining the family business, he went out in search of something great, believing that there is more to life than meets the eye. He wants to find definitive proof of the supernatural and use it as inspiration to write his stories. So my story is to have Johnny and Kat, my fairy sim, fall in love, travel the world together, meeting all kinds of supernatural beings, and then I might even have Kat transform Johnny into a fairy at some point. I just think they will be so cute together. Oh, and I also had the idea of Cassandra Goth and Malcolm dating. Maybe they'll be in a short high school sweetheart fling and then split up during university, or maybe they'll actually be a really good fit together. I'm not sure how that will turn out. But I really want Johnny and Kat to be together. I think they will be a pretty good fit. I was just thinking, like, what iconic sim townie would Kat be good with? And for some reason, Johnny Zest immediately popped into my mind. No idea why, but I don't know, I kind of like it. And I'm really excited to get that family gameplay going again. But I was really excited to move Kat into Willow Creek from Innisgreen, which is the fairy world, and I actually already have, and I'll tell you why. So a few days ago, I tried so hard to record another fairies video, but like literally nothing was working. I really wanted to do the Fable quest things and hear out some of the lore, and I found a few of the special townies that give them out, but no matter what I did, the interaction to acquire the Fable quests just would not appear. I restarted the game, repaired the game, updated my mods, but it just wouldn't appear. There was no interaction. And then I tried to explore the other neighborhoods in the world, so I went to the gnome village, and literally there was not a single soul there. I had my game on speed 3 trying to get some sims to spawn, and after multiple in-game hours, even though it was the middle of the day, literally no sim spawned. It was a ghost town. Then I went to the bar in the other neighborhood, and there was no one at the bar for multiple in-game hours again, not even the bartender. It took around 5 hours for the bartender to arrive. It was just so disappointing that I decided to just scrap the recording. And I realized that I just don't really enjoy playing that new save, single sim starter gameplay. It feels very lonely. I'm much more of a family gameplay person where I can create some sort of story and interest between the sims, which is really where the gameplay is for me, not so much on the actual gameplay mechanics, honestly. They are just the medium to bring the story to life. And while I was going to wait to move Kat into Willow Creek until I had played with all of the new world and pack gameplay stuff, I'm just not going to make myself struggle through that if I'm not having fun. So I've just moved her to Willow Creek right away, and there she's going to meet Johnny Zest, fall in love, and then I can start that family gameplay that I've been looking forward to this whole time. Why wait, you know? And I played with her in her new home for about an hour last night, and it was so much fun. The Welcome Wagon came with Bob and Eliza and my spellcaster sim Thistle, and seeing them there at Kat's house was so cool because those are my sims, you know? And I know them. It really is just such a special feeling seeing other families you play around the world and interacting with your other sims. I can't even describe it. It's like a crossover episode of your favorite TV shows, which I guess for me would be Buffy the Vampire Slayer crossed with Bones crossed with the 100. Such a weird combo, but if you wanted to know, now you know. And I also got a pop-up when Kat and Thistle introduced themselves together that said that spellcasters and fairies don't get along, which I love that pre-established lore, but those two got along so well and are now best friends, which I thought was really cute. But I am so glad that I realized why I wasn't enjoying the gameplay, why it wasn't working for me, and that I changed it to be more fun. Because previously, like before I created this YouTube channel, I would have just created a new save, a whole new sim, played for a bit, got bored, and then repeated that cycle over and over again. No wonder I was always bored of The Sims. And I know from hearing other people talk that they often do the same thing, which is why I talk so highly about rotational gameplay and creating a forever save file that you always play in, even when you create a new household or something. And if you're interested in trying out this type of gameplay, I really recommend just picking one world to focus on at a time and then filling that out with all of your Sims that you love, because it really is such a game changer. But I think that is going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and if you are new, consider subscribing so you don't miss my next video. I hope that you all have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye!